Beloved poets, welcome to Chaos Magic. This is gonna be a dynamite Monday night. You just might as well call this Monday Nitro. We got a splendid evening of poetry and all kinds of artistic expression for y'all. Quick guidelines, freedom of speech, no censorship, but please no hate speech. This is the place where you negate the hate and release the peace. Other than that, have free will. Usually we promote one original piece and one cover in our Monday night format, so please keep in mind as you go and present. And with that said, we're just gonna go right into it. Leading off tonight, please give it up for Richard Spizak. Unmute yourselves and take it away when you're ready.
Thank you so much. It's my great honor to be here. I have two pieces for you. One is the proverbial quote. This is from Jim Morrison's Horse Latitudes. When the still sea conspires in armor, and her sullen and aborted currents breed tiny monsters, true sailing is dead. Awkward instant, and the first animal is jettisoned, legs furiously pumping their stiff green gallop, heads bob up, poise, delicate, pause, consent, in mute nostril agony, carefully refined and sealed over. I've always regarded Brother Jim as one of my poetic grandfathers. Really liberated my pen. And now a couple little pieces to, I hope, amuse you. This is a piece called Alternate AI News. AI clearly has a lot to learn. Dear my love, as we, our antique bridges burn, and silicone hands rummage through our pockets, stealing it all right down to our shoes and socklets. With their sampling, they're stealing all we know. Knowledge workers, you've been robbed of knowledge jobs by the silicone mob. Look out below. Remember wages? They'll drop quite fast. No, not so slow. They'll drop very, very low. Once, my friend, we feared the migrant traveler, and all our cushy jobs we were thought these were the great ruthless unravelers. Immigrants, we were told, were once the great big boogie. All of those errand traveling Mexicans in their great big stogies. It was said they'll take our jobs across the land as they are hedges and lawns trimmed with gnarled, aching hands. Then construction went to complain as Mexicans and Guatemalans picked up the nails and hammers, and all the new construction got migrant laborers to build and paint, or else into the slammers went they with haste. But this fresh labor threat has a different origin from laboratories with computerized corporate encouragement. Just for profit, they'll not deny it. All those lunchrooms are suddenly oh, so quiet. The jobber rode up from construction through knowledge worker, raised up from technician to manager. Suddenly, AI creates a brand new silicone barrier. So many entry-level jobs will be filled by countless heartless silicone slobs. Doctors, lawyers are not immune, nor are they jobs. See them go, boom. Drivers, stockmen, warehouse workers will just make room, just like robot surgeons, with a very tiny boom. Sure, from time to time, there'll be human babysitters standing nearby. They'll never be the eager quitter. Crossing guards and robot plumbers. No more cabbies or busmen. What a bummer. Speaking to the mic now, dearie, so your robot gynecologist can hear you clearly. Dr. X7580 is on the job. His hand is cold, but his gaze is steady. Even the soldiers on patrol are now robotic. No more flat feet or arthritic knees. No more neurotics needed, if you please. No more shell shock or PTSD. They're trained to enjoy the sound of screams. No more shirking from the attack. No more body bags or mile-high corpses stacked. What a brave new world where our corporate overlords are dialing up. The senator, is there more than a trace of hemlock in that corporate logo cup? Already artists, writers, robot cameras are deployed, and they're former unionless humans who once had those jobs their free time now to enjoy. Now replaced by vacationless, overtime-free AI. No more middle managing executives to oversee these guys. We're replacing 70% of the workers, said the Chinese. This will certainly drive the few workers left to their tangy bowls of beans. Is that it left? And then last but not least, I offer you this little bit of amusement. The Mexican Mouse. I'll only do a couple scenes of this. The Mexican Mouse visited my house. He told tall tales as far as he could stretch. Do you know what he said would happen next? He dared all the poets, the girls and the boys, to gather their verbs, their nouns, and such toys, to construct an elaborate structure of whimsy and climb up on its chimney, climb up on its roof and down through the chimney. He found a tiny horsey hidden in the hay so as not to give himself away, but this little charger was just the right size for the Mexican Mouse to hide up and ride. He rode around the kitchen searching this way and that. His tiny steed was lurching. Despite his tiny size, there was no great leap he wouldn't try. From the floor to the kitchen counter in one great leap, then to the cabinets to the very peak. From there he could survey the kitchen complete, the knife rack, the double sink, the fruit juicer. You might climb down to it, but he'd never be the user. And that, my friends, is part one of The Mexican Mouse. Voila.
Unmute yourselves. Please give it up for Richard, everybody.
Hey, Richard. Nicely done.
Good.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear part two.
I was just listening to a poem about AI. It was like AI versus the poet, and I was literally like slapping my thighs. Like I was just like, ah.
Yeah, that would be an interesting endeavor. AI. Okay.
They're actually using it in fast food restaurants too, believe it or not. And not just order takers, actually preparing food.
It's wild. It's too much. Up next is Bill Elkins.
Okay. Thanks, Alma. See, I'd like to do a cover and then an original, which I guess has normally been the format. The cover I'd like to do is it's a Beatles song called "You Gotta Hide Your Love Away." I'm sure some of you remember that song. Anyway, here we go. Here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall. If she's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot small. Everywhere people stare, each and every day. I can see them laugh at me, and I hear them say, hey, you've got to hide your love away. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. How can I even try? I can never win. Hearing them, seeing them in the state I'm in. How could she say to me, love will find a way? Gather round, all you clowns, let me hear you sing. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. La 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 la. Okay, thank you, everybody. That's my cover song. Now I'd like to do an original. It's called It's You, Girl. Here we go. Hope you like it. It's you, girl, decked in effervescent blue. It's you, girl, spirit tender and true. You are my sage, my Venus, my belle. You're so perceptive, artistic, and cool. It's you, girl, my philosophical muse. It's you, girl, who taught me to be is to do. You are visionary ahead of your time. You ignore what's fashionable, accepted, or defined. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 It's you, girl, folk singer so true. It's you, girl, voice so silken and new. I love your ethereal singing at the avant-garde. You turn me on to Dylan with your soprano and guitar. It's you, girl, my coffee house queen. It's you, girl, my brown-eyed babe in blue jeans. I drink you in my dreams, you're so beautiful and fine. You live for today with so much passion in mind. I'm so grateful you're my friend and my musical muse. Thank you, everybody.
Everybody unmute yourselves. Please give it up for Bill Elkins, everybody. Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
so cute. Also knowing the backstory just now that you told me. Remember?
Yes.
That was so cute.
Thank you. Good memory. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for coming by with your music, both covers and original. I just love the Bill Elkins experience. That's it. One more time, give it up for Bill.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
All right, keeping up with the show here, stepping up to the plate now, please give it up for Lantern Carrier. Unmute when you are ready and take it away.
Thank you, my brother. Invitation by the visionary seer Sri Chinmoy. Come, 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 O moon, O stars, O son of the blue vast sky. Come to hear the fruit of immortality in my heart, to watch the smile of infinity in my life. Here there is no human poverty, no darkness life. Here in this hot nest of mine, there's only an endless fountain light. Come, come, come. Oh, today the bird of my heart desires everyone. Come, come, come. O moon, O stars, O son of the blue vast sky. Sri Chinmoy. They say you're the Messiah. I have not known you to be contained in cypress or sepulchres, nor even in my nearest Jewish synagogue. I searched for you in the old Sanskrit scrolls and sutras, but you were not confined to manuscripts and doctrines. I paid homage to the sacred shrines of Mecca, but found instead that you are hidden in my heart. Who exalted Moses in the burning bush? Didn't you ascend from a cross and rose victorious? O light of my light, they try to restrict you in boxes, yet your love preceded the eloquence of scholars, rose again in the breath of the one called Lazarus. Daniel was cast into a den of lions, but you entered the lair, adorning his soul with rhapsody. The magenta leaves cascade your elegance, while darkness covers you in shrouds, only so you can rise again in the supernal excellence of daybreak. When I'm in pain and suffering, you even hide within my tears, a dark night which makes me tremble, only to show adversity as the candle of your love. You're the one with numerous names and forms, the pure white snow dancing, cradling the dawn of the New Jerusalem. Joseph was thrown into a well of suffering, but you lifted him to glory in his father's kingdom. No prison bars a dream, neither is thy love contained in narrow lanes. You're in the breeze and ethereal symphonies, paint sunsets in my shadows, cradle me in my joy as well as in my struggles. You are the blue landscape in the firmament, the quintessence of my excellence, and I long for the smile of your awakening sunrise. Beloved, I have torn my garments of emotions only to place it on your remedial table. I have fashioned this heart in the agony of yearning for a sweet glimpse of thy lips. You came to me in my darkness, lifted me up from ignorance, embraced me like a father and son. Now I want to hold you as close as possible to my tears so we can both cry out in ecstasy as one. Beloved, fill my heart with the joys of the prodigal returning to victory in his father's house. Grant me the fire of Daniel, heart burning with unshakable faith in the middle of a den of lions. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into a fiery furnace by the king of Babylon. But you came walking through the flames, vanquishing the heat with your breath of love. Ay, my deliverer, such sweetness in thy symphony. Now my soul becomes a delicate harp, echoing the psalms of David's lute, adorning the grandeur of the scarlet moon. You dazzling empress, delight of my delights, You that hide in the core of the realm of immortals, give light to the sun and moon, breathe in the wonder of shooting stars and the bewildering spectacle of galaxies. Come, Lantern Carrier. Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourselves. Please give it up for Lantern Carrier. Thank you.
Magic. Beautifully done. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Powerful.
That was so lovely. I wrote in the comments it was a balm to the soul, that style.
Thank you so much.
Up next is Christopher. Oh, up next is Christopher Moore, and I did want to let everyone know that Nemo put the GoFundMe for Gustav in the chat.
Thank you. Before I begin, is it 1 poems or 2? I do apologize for asking again.
You can so yeah, you can do 2. You can do 2 if you like.
Okay, thank you. I recently had a book come out called Poems for a Fallen Saint. I'm going to read 2 pieces from that. This one's called A Sin. Yes, O fallen saint, I committed a sin, a heresy upon you. Is that what you want to hear? I foolishly was led astray by someone who was not you, but who also was. I will do a zillion Hail Marys until my own damn needs bleed, if that's what you want me to do. Question is, will you be joining me? For you are not pure yourself. That was the first one. And the second one is called, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Marionette Priest, like puppet stuff. So this is called Marionette Priest 2. She moved the puppet strings, and I raised my arms up high. Can I get a hallelujah in the pews if you risk your salvation at the hands of this, our fallen saint? Moving the strings and plywood more, she had me baptize many suckers who found her beauty all too stunning. I strung along for many years as my heart waits for the day of Jubilee that will never come. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourselves and give it up for Christopher Moore, everybody.
Nicely done, Chris.
Before we continue on with the open mic, just want to just put this out there real quick. This is another graphic to promote the Megus's GoFundMe to help with the financial battle, along with the support battle with the medical stuff. So please check that out right now. All information you need is right there. If your phone is able to scan QR codes, there's a QR code right there to take you to it. So with that said, check that out. All right. With that said, on with the poetry. And now we're going to buckle in. We're going to strap ourselves. We're going to get ready for the Skiff verse, everybody. At this time, please welcome Paul Skiff to the mic. Unmute when you are ready.
Oh, thanks, Dre. Thanks, Dre and Alma, for the work you're doing to make this place. I'll do this cover. This kind of a short poem by Ada Limon. The title of it is The Conditional. Say tomorrow doesn't come. Say the moon becomes an icy pit. Say the sweet gum tree is petrified. Say the sun's a foul black tire fire. Say the owl's eyes are pinpricks. Say the raccoon's a hot tar stain. Say the shirt's plastic ditch litter. Say the kitchen's a cow's corpse. Say we never get to see it, bright future, stuck like a bum star, never coming close, never dazzling. Say we never meet her, never him. Say we spend our last moments staring at each other, hands knotted together, clutching the dog, watching the sky burn. Say it doesn't matter. Say that would be enough. Say you'd still want this, us alive, right here, feeling lucky. And then what this has a title, Love Bite. It's kind of a interior landscape. Below on 2nd Street, heat still crawls through air across tar at 9 p.m. No noise sweats into eyes. Chink out, a vaporous moon is missing. Dirty paper towels wrap the rest. I donate more disappearance. Crash. Phone receiver down to obscure Floridian from call center who lures me to fantasize 3 nights on a hot island until money falls from my mouth. I inform him there are 20 square feet of retail space for every living person in the USA, promised with better timing, and most of it is air conditioned. Perhaps I let gravity lower immune conclusion onto phone because firemen with surgical gloves pound a door off the 3rd floor. HIV, they prod at unconscious body named Brian fallen. Short under doorknob, unbalanced questions stumble below fear loads when sickness outweighs duty. What? Religion, gropes the registrar at Free Health Clinic when I bring my swollen eye to be fixed. I glance sideways, raise my shoulders up. I, not safeguarded with other protective memberships they want either, insurance, employer, a person to contact in case of emergency. Just let the emergency happen, I whisper, helpless, astonished vigil keepers. Ornament every descent into useless pain where sorrow is not really permission to chase the body's own failing. Fissure on my brain, pried open by speech, impediment of a sperm, often has my voice bathe in bucket of mezcal, sway soaked, low-pitched hips to rhyme, fresh breeze with moonless night near Houston and sea, refuse to dress thought, which naked instead may reach high on Lisa's shelf for hat box that reserves black altitude hungered corset on flight plans made from red leather dog collar whose metal studs convert each unopened night to bloodless artery flowed through by 20-fingered thunderstorms, sliding key teeth over tumblers at speed of taxi cabs jumping downgrade off bridge into Brooklyn at 4 a.m. The cabbie's ear coiled tight with Lisa's voice turning me through proposition. I will unlock to be discovered by 3 filaments of green in Lisa's brown iris when she uses morning to explore my spine with her fingernails while Josie the cat claws all the way to the top of the door, Josie. Josie, who sat worrying on my shoulder when, through tumid hips and back of the knees, I drew fever up out of Lisa's body, filling damp cloth with 113-degree day in the park. Push this cloth, warm, with experience of departures to your ear, Lisa, heal. With the delirious jokes of the 79-year-old woman in a pink poodle skirt who provokes laughs more loud than trucks on 6th Avenue to explode from my love-bruised body. I, startled full of the same smiles erupting on the beehived, mirthful, silvery apparition preserved by quick dodges, victory laughs, blue nail polish, and the equinox, waiting for a bus become encyclopedia of enticement because, Lisa, that woman knows the only reason you ever want to shoot pool is so you can sink smiles on me with your short skirt when you stretch all the way across the table to ram the 8-ball. Everyone at the bar sipping their life vests warns me with sharp looks into big trouble I am. What is going down into the pocket? So dance, Lisa, dance, 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 Lisa, dance, tenacious argument, ambivalent, small bravery, protest, and one single tear, Lisa, dance naked on your climax altar in the morning, smiling down into my still face below. Trouble is not an undertow that can grab my ankles, made alive by your pleasure. I am only able to launch happiness, not outlive or control it. Human impermanence verified and reminded me of this buoyancy with the eclipse Eduardo the poet disappeared behind when his tattoo-mirrored, nipple-pierced hulk became cosmic receptacle for my joyous anger as he chewed up and swallowed half the dollar I tore in part looking for blue sky. Happiness that, to master human indifference, lingers up in escape orbit with satellite pictures I chase, which will not surrender out from the computer at offices of the CIA. What method of liberatory miracle perfectly vanishes at map coordinates north 30 minutes, 27 seconds, south 70 minutes, 31 seconds? I will inform you what fulfillment of curiosity is at that location. Anger courage of the 12-year-old girl with the name that means full of beauty, who teaches me how to listen to the last echo of agreement when, in fierce sorrow, she nails up a dead mutt onto the fence built around the pit at Avenue B where condos will rise. The dog corpse wears a police hat, fashion of defiant truth that cannot be excavated and hauled off. Yes, exactly, whispers the ancient shriveled woman who, sharpening my thoughts, lilts next to me on the corner in hot wind. If all things that live here would contribute even their bodies like that, this might stop our disappearance. Did she say that? Did she say that? That ancient woman, did she just say that? Or was the opening door on my heart her midwife eyes delivering my dark oceans to first vision? Oh, you are right. My birth siren flies straight into the old woman's winter sky, hearing the continuity of love, physical permanence lies about. You are right, mother. This gift to hate is how I at times have stood whole with peace to sing from a mouthful of light and survive while with its back to me, death stood to file its teeth.
Oh, everybody, please unmute yourselves and give it up for Paul Skiff, everybody.
Wow.
That last line.
Working all day, I just jump in, and the first thing I hear is Paul Skiff's beautiful words. It's like they saved my day. My soul survived. Thank you.
Wow.
It's so full of insight. It's like driven by it.
That midwife line was powerful. Well, somebody just put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved the work. Up next is Marianne Tett.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you this evening. I have a poem inspired by a children's book called My Powerful Hair, which was written by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by a painter called Steph Littlebird. It's National Indigenous Peoples Month here in Canada, so we celebrate our First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. And this is just a small piece. Silence. When I end the day in the setting sun that streams through the spirea hedge, I am reminded that silence is never quiet and stillness never lacks rhyme or verse. For the leaves sashay in fresh green rhythm and bees drone their own incessant music. The rising breeze lulls me into somnolence, where I greet Great Bear, who taught me to swim, raven and deer, who knew me before my mother, wolf, who waits to leap from my body, and I am never alone. And then I'd like to cover a piece that I discovered yesterday on Father's Day. I was thinking about my own dad, who gave up his particular dream of being the first college, the first university graduate in our family when a certain somebody came along during his fourth year in university. And this poem spoke so much to me, and it is my absolute privilege to cover Throw Me Another Biscuit Around the Corner by our great friend, Michael Anthony Ingram, written for his father, Max. I can remember Sunday mornings when the whole family would get up to eat. We'd all hustle to the kitchen table in search of our favorite seat. We'd wait patiently until the food was on the table. Then we'd pray to God for making all things able. Now, go ahead and eat, our mama would say, but always remember to pray and thank the Lord each day for letting you see another sunrise, come what may. In the kitchen, you could hear the loud clicking of the plates, spoons, and knives as we all scrambled for the grits, eggs, and bacon that we knew would help keep our young bodies alive. Sometimes the noise in the kitchen was so great it would make you wonder what we were doing to those plates. Yet no matter how loud we got on those Sunday mornings, there was one sound that came through indisputably clear. It was the booming voice of our daddy, who'd taken his plate into the den. He knew he could not eat in peace in the kitchen, because it often sounded like a freight train had roared in. Throw me another biscuit around the corner, if you please. And just like the great Satchel Paige, we'd fight to see who'd be the one to throw it his way. Our daddy, the big old tall and strong black man who never had to worry about a biscuit when it sailed through the air. He would catch it in the palm of his hand with his usual style and flair, you see. Our daddy, as a younger man, had aspirations of becoming a big baseball star. He'd played shortstop and left field for the Rockingham Giants and High Point Braves, so his athletic abilities were known near and far. Yet, like many black men whose lives take a sudden family turn, a career in baseball became one that he'd forever yearned. So when he'd holler, "Throw me another biscuit around the corner, please," one of us would shift sideways, step, and throw, all of us hoping to the dear Lord that the biscuit didn't overshoot him, bounce, and hit the floor. "Max, come in the kitchen and get a biscuit," our mama would shake her head and say. "Nah," he'd reply, "I can catch it as I did back in the day." "Daddy," we'd say, "your hands look like they can't take no more." "Yes, I know," he wistfully would say. "Just throw me another biscuit and I can still catch it, just like I was a pro." Although we all knew that our daddy's jet black leathery hands had been numbed and stiffened by years of hard work, toil, and sweat, we also knew his strong black hands had not given up yet. So throw me another biscuit around the corner, if you please, while I thank the Lord for the lip-smacking goodness I'm about to receive. Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourselves and give
Michael
it up
Anthony
for
Ingram. Nice, nice. I love Michael.
Very nice. I like
He
that.
played a beautiful role
Such
in
a
one of my
page.
dreams. The podcast I created. He hosted it, and I never released it. Still, great, great project. Oh, I love Michael.
Yeah.
Good, good. Great read of the piece too. That was well done.
Yes, yes, yes.
I've never heard that, and it was really, really sweet.
Yeah. Satchel Paige.
I like
It was
yes.
that it was that sudden family turn, that line that really resonated for me. It was a beautiful piece of writing, of course, from Michael, but that line right there really felt like, family. So yeah, I really enjoyed being able to read that today for Michael and for his father.
I don't know if anybody I don't know if everybody knows him, but he's out of DC. He does a podcast on it's called Quintessential Poetry now. It used to be called Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio. He's got it down to Quintessential Listening, I think, or Quintessential Poetry. But he's interviewed at least maybe I'm talking maybe 300-400 people by now. Long form on his radio thing that he does podcast. Check him out. It's a great guy.
One more time, give it up for Marianne Taft, everybody.
Hey, what about her poem? She's got to do a cover. That was a cover.
I think she
Well,
said it.
CC, it was the short piece that I did at the beginning, inspired by the painting by Steph Littlebird.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got carried away. Sorry, thank you.
That's okay. Used to.
It is at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce you, the co-host of Chaos Magic. Please give it up for our very own Alma. Unmute when you're ready. Sorry that I embarrassed you.
I'm terrible at introducing myself. Hello everyone. I'm Alma Garcia. Here with you guys today. I still haven't reached a good level of comfort for covering people. For some reason, I feel like I do them and I'm like, I don't know. So I'm gonna hold off on that still. I have one for y'all today titled I Know Nothing of God. I wrote this today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, here goes. I know nothing of God. I know every time I've needed to feel clean, the sky has provided torrents without me needing to ask. And for all my fatherlessness, I have known the wind at my back in my hair. I have known the sun on my skin. At my heels, I have roared the words of mountain men beneath the stars and felt their foreign echoes reach my shores, tremble the soil with laughter, heavy chuckles from the throat of the night. I know nothing of the devil. I know art has held every broken thing in my spirit like a suckling babe in the hands at the breast of its mother. And for all my motherlessness, I have known the embrace of the sea with all her sorrow and howled in the arms of the moon. I have tattooed their hymns on my flesh and been born again and again from seeds planted so far beneath the soil, they may as well be stars. I know nothing of God. I have that one, and I might be able to find another one. I did one yesterday, but I don't know if I have it yet for reciting it. Actually, I'm doing all of these reading them because again, it's new shit and I suck at that. And there's also a moth in here that I'm freaking out about. Hold on, let me find it. Okay, here goes. This one is titled No Good, and I posted it yesterday, I think. Okay, here goes. The most beautiful things feel like death, like dying, like effusive constrictive pericarditis, your heart drowning in its own blood. And when the gods deigned it fair to flood the earth, maybe that was just a metaphor for us to use on any given day at any given time. And maybe I'm no good at breathing anyway, and maybe I can't breathe. Maybe, baby, I'm no good at breathing. And maybe I hate the word good as a descriptor of any good thing or any given moment. And maybe all our good given breathing feels like the weight of everything beautiful I've ever held in my arms, my gaze in my heart, snake chains of belonging, longing, squeezing, swallowing me whole, baby, maybe. Good feels like dying, like effusive, constrictive pericarditis, but baby, I'm no good at breathing anyway, and maybe breathing is just as difficult and just as beautiful as dying, one good day at a time. And maybe I make everything I can't handle into poetry because maybe, baby, I'm no good at breathing anyway. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Oh, give it up
Those
for
are
Alma, everybody. Unmute yourselves.
Alma, those are two miraculously beautiful pieces. I
Yeah.
really thought they were stellar. And I think you can't breathe or you wouldn't have been able to do that. So I'm going to disagree with you just on the last line.
Same.
And wow, that was,
I always say I can't breathe when I think something is gorgeous.
wow, that was good work. That was good work. Those are some deep, dark metaphors that not every poet can even go to and tackle and come away with. So that's good work. The ineffable.
Thank you so much.
That's asked me what is poetry, and one of the answers is to say what cannot be said, and you did that a little bit. Speak the ineffable.
Thank you so much. You guys, I'm speechless. I can't breathe. I can't.
Yes, you can.
I can't. Actually, I think poetry always takes my breath away. I think that's just the way it is. Has to be.
Now I wish Baby was here because she would be the perfect follow through. I love her work. I miss her.
Oh my God. Wait, who's Baby? I'm too new for that. Wait, who's Baby?
That's Maddie.
Maddie.
Maddie Baby. Maddie DeMar. She's brilliant. She's young.
I love y'all. I'm still lost. I'm sure she's amazing.
Yeah. She featured on the Friday. You could watch the Open Minds Open Mic, her very first feature. Watch that. Watch that video like you have to. I'm gonna make you watch it now. Find Maddie. Find
I
Maddie's
will. I
video
will.
on Open Minds Open Mic Friday back in their archive.
Okay, you guys. Up next is Generalissimo, and let's mute our mics while the other poets are on to give him his turn.
Thank you, Alma. I just want to say, you're new to me, but each time I hear you read, it's just really beautiful, insightful, and just the personal ability of just exposing yourself to us is wonderful. So thank you for what you do. So I'm going to just do two of my own poems. This is called How to Lay Claim to Tears Not Born of Your Own Eyes. Are raindrops on my windshield, a million never-ending tears from heaven. Is this sudden saltiness in my mouth salt for my mother's tears? Is she crying about my disappointments? Is she crying because I am still trying to make her proud of me? Maybe I'm imagining her tears as full of salt when afterlife tears are instead laced with clover spun honey. Imagining such things can only be a guessing game of what makes sense up there, because nothing ever makes sense 100% down here. Is doubt non-existent up there? Are their tears gifts given to us in the form of fortitude and optimism? Or maybe rain is only rain that sometimes looks like tears on windshields that replaces itself faster than windshield wipers can wipe. And maybe this sudden saltiness is a side effect of either impatience or thirst brought on by salty food. And then I think I want to do this one I'll dedicate this one to Gustav. How to Get Away with Public Nudity. When I read my poetry, I empty myself of me. I'm not pretending to be someone else. I'm not exactly stepping out of myself. Maybe I'm stripping bare without removing any clothing. Maybe the clothes I choose to wear are a costume I use to hide in plain sight. Maybe the words I commit to page and extol through voice are my version of streaking across the 50-yard line while Lady Gaga sings the Star-Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl. When I empty myself of me when I read my poetry, it's like tossing a deck of cards in the air and hoping the jokers land face up. Every day I wake up is a wild card that tries to learn its way out of being wild. When I empty myself of me when I read my poetry, every time I play 52 pickup, I pick up the cards, put them back in the box, return to living life, and because I am a poet, I get to empty myself of me every time I write a new poem, if I choose. Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody unmute yourselves. Give it up for Generalissimo, everybody.
Let's go.
Generalissimo. Wow.
I love poems that talk about being a poet. So perfect.
All right. Moving on with the open mic here. Up next, please give it up for Nemo Soom, everybody. Unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. So I have, in honor of Gustav, I have a poem about why we do the work. And then I'm going to play a Chopin prelude. Someone's going to die today. Someone's going to get shot right in the face today. Someone's going to fall today. Going to think, so this is what it's like while they go. Someone's going to pull the plug today. Going to swallow hard and call it off. Someone's going to leave a note today. Going to try to explain why they gave up, but failed. Someone's going to lose someone today. Going to want to rip the molten heart from their heaving chest. Someone's going to get sick today. Going to have to figure out what to do with the little time they have left. Someone's getting blown up today. Going to be vaporized by something nobody's flying and a bomb nobody saw coming. Someone's going to get saved today. Going to feel the strength of the arm that pulls them away from danger. Going to cry at being worth saving. Someone's going to get born today. Someone's going to fall in love today. Someone's going to rise today. Going to stand back up despite the pain, despite the doubt, despite having every reason to stay down. And this is Chopin's Prelude in E minor. Wait a second. I don't think I've got my music thing turned on. Can you guys hear the... Or do I need to turn on my music?
Can't hear it.
Can't hear it?
You have to turn it on.
Okay, my drop down is missing. I may have to come back around later. Is that cool? Because I think I may have to exit in order to turn my music thing on.
Okay, we can come back to you after this next poet potentially, if that's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. With that said, a little change plans here. I guess that's part of the chaos with the magic, you know what I'm saying? Up next, please give it up for Sophia Falco, everybody. Unmute and take it away.
All right. Thank you. Man, that was an especially moving poem by Nemo for me today, and I'm sure other people, but not struck a chord, but anyways, I just needed a moment. So the cover poem I'm gonna read today is one by Tim Z. Hernandez. Amazing work. And it's from Some of the Light, New and Selected Poems. And I'm gonna do my best to read it with one hand because my hand's injured. It's kind of bummer, but not the worst thing. So excuse me, I want to read and then I'll read something of my own for Pride Month. But here we go. This is just really moving. Endling for Anya Saldana. I once drove to meet a hummingbird at the foot of the Canadian border, and I would do it again. I'm such a willing flower. Lean into a sun that shines on me. I'm bending now towards you. I promised myself I'd abstain from toxic plants. I want to turn to palm readers, but the moment I catch myself opening that neon door, I worry where their hands have been. In places of worship, I find myself longing to be rescued, say a botanical garden or white sands, or on the top step of my porch overlooking Ciudad Juarez. I can't help it. She took me by the hand once to Chief Joseph's grave, and we made shadow prayers out of bear wings. She said, all he wanted was to go home. I left a note pinned to a tree. I was here. You were not. Can you forgive us for this mess we've made? It's been 5 years and 3 months without a drink, the longest my liver has ever gone without turning sentimental. Nothing gets away from me anymore. What I'm getting at here is that I've spent this year walking back the sum of my hangovers, starting with you. Starting with that electricity line that caught me one wintry night. starting with that liquor store curb in Albuquerque and onto that snaking Red River in the San Luis Valley. I found the rest stop outside Denver that held us, and I unsmoked all the cigarettes, rolled the planes back over the Rockies, and returned the watercolors to Nature Boys Pond in Western Mass. Never before had so many stones been upturned in Marfa, Texas, nor have all the Ferris wheels wound backwards so fast. Do you know how many pressed white bed sheets it takes to undo the shadows? I've been moonwalking across your memory, restoring sunsets to their rightful coast. Last night, someone held up a sign on the nightly news. It said, "Welcome to the end," but it just kept on until the sign carrier eventually grew tired and walked home. All he wanted was to go home. I could hear her saying, "There are more affectionate ways to measure these days than with masturbation." Yesterday, a murmuration of birds composed a poem in the sky. It read, "Jack Cullum is dead, so the magpies along the Front Range have taken to yodeling horrific elegies, and I can almost hear Jack cry out, 'They're crazier than poets. Everything is black or white with them. They tell me California is on fire and old things are burning up. History is going to dregs, and there's a wolf in the hen house.' Everyone is saying something to no one listening. Everyone wants to wade in a gutter and call themselves a prophet without first learning how to kneel." Tim Z. Hernandez, everybody. Really profound. Just, yeah. A moment for him, or then, yeah. I just love that poem and all its undoings, like unsmoked all the cigarettes and my liver's being like something like unsentimental and all this stuff, and it's like the Ferris wheel is going backwards, and it's just a crazy, like this time illusion. So I hope y'all enjoyed that piece as much as I did. And I'll just read a short excerpt from "If My Hands Were Birds," a poem, which is coming out in about a month. I got the proof copy. Let's go. Yeah, so I'll read an excerpt for Pride Month. And I'll wrap up my turn and send the mic over. Next fellow creative. It's a little bit serious, but here we go. This is for Pride Month, this excerpt. All right. So, their pain was subjective to my pain, as my pain was subjective to their pain. But still, pain is pain is pain. I wanted love, unconditional. I wanted love, me, just for me. Love is love is love. But back then, I kept my sexuality close to my chest, and what a mess. When the newbie staff member asked me in front of all the house clients, "What group are you going to?" That day, it was the LGBT group, and I kindly tried to deflect the question, and he pressed me and pressed me and pressed me until I felt I had no choice, until I was outed, then outraged, because back then I wasn't ready to reveal my love for women as public knowledge, because when I came out initially to someone close, I faced fierce, angry backlash. She, who thought I was broken, tried to refute my sexuality. "You're just in a phase. How could you know if you never dated anyone? What if you would change your mind?" I could have replied, "Do doves change their mind of their migration? Typically." But I took this too hard. Instead, I tried self-conversion therapy for no real reason except for that shame she led me to feel. However, where is self-love? Still, I'm searching for a dove, whereas I could hear the escaped pet parrots populating the nearby trees. I landed on the fact that I had to utilize the Google search dove. A directive written, "There is no love like your own," on a randomly left behind drawing taped to the wall across from my bed. Yet the bodies of the butterflies were in hiding. Never once did I see one. I was in hiding, but then I decided I must try to undo the harsh messages that came my way for over 2 decades. The game of telephone was flawed anyways. The message lost along the way. We didn't bother with that game, but I did know that Lady Gaga and Beyonce rocked the telephone. Well, I wanted to throw my phone out the window. This pain was almost unbearable. I didn't have a teddy bear like he did, an oversized one. Instead, most of my belongings were bare. Yet I was sure to bring my small stuffed toy animal tiger, my spirit animal. If only my spirit could be revived as easily, to not think of dying. Food coloring was not used in this house. I don't think anyone even baked a cake, yet instead someone tried to bake chocolate chip cookies, but instead this was a hella fail. In fact, missing an egg from the ingredient list. I wish the word failure would have gotten out of my head where the demons were lured out of hiding when my trauma snapped last Thanksgiving by the emerging nightmares that awoke me and left me sobbing. I was not giving thanks, but then again, maybe this was a breakthrough from being suppressed in my subconscious to now the conscious was in a battle. Truthfully, I didn't want to get back on the saddle, but knew there was no other way but through and out of it was the refrain in my mind, since my amazing psychiatrist told me that years ago, and I kept this close to my chest. I often pondered why horses would scare me and that I would never ride a real horse. I remember seeing an antique saddle once in my auntie's garage. Just don't ask me why. Even though horses are majestic, those big eyes and running manes flowing, what if I felt free like them to be me? Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourselves, please. Give it up for Sophia Falco, everybody.
Sophia.
Wild, wild horses
Awesome.
Yeah.
couldn't drag me away. That's a good song to put on repeat next time you do that.
I don't know if you've read the novel Catch 22 by Joseph Heller, and it just gave me that energy. The
Thank you.
style of the writing, it was gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love the way that any poet can read any poem and affect every person differently. And somewhere inside that is the inspiration of the poetry that they should write next, no matter what. Poetry can handle it. That's the line of the week I love.
Up next is Cora.
Hold up, we're gonna check on Nemo real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No
told you I
worries.
would check on
No worries. Let's see. Quick test.
That
How's
sounds
that?
great. Sounds
Hear it?
wonderful.
Okay.
If I want to
This
watch you play the invisible piano, though, I got to kick out.
is, all right. This is Chopin's Prelude in E minor. This is for Gustav. Love you, Gustav. Sending all the healing energy I can.
Thank you.
Everybody, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Nemo Sum, everybody.
And thank you for setting up the help me page, GoFundMe. I'm not at the top of the barrel right now, but so we do what we can. But thank you for setting that up and doing that. I hope he can hear us.
Well,
I'm
definitely
so
he will
emotional
be.
over that, and that was so beautiful. Thank you, Nemo.
You're very welcome. And thank you to everybody who posted his sister's GoFundMe that she set up all over Instagram. It's really beautiful to see that. So it's cool.
It's the very least any of us can do.
Especially the fact that he buys probably more of our books than anybody else. You know, he's a real good supporter of when we publish. So we can't forget that.
All right. With that said, one more time, give it up for Nemo Soom. And coming up next to the digital stage, please give it up for Cora at this time. When you are ready, please unmute and take it away.
Hello, everyone. The poem I am covering, I posted in the link or in the chat. Sorry. It's called Drifts. The poem starts with, it has four pieces, but drift 1 is missing, or maybe it just starts with drift 2. It's by Danielle Vogel. Perfect curtains of algae, almost as one, and the phytoplankton rise, oxygen levels, a radiance in the sound center trough up and out toward the shoals atmosphere, estuary, confluent tides. This upwelling of organisms, of winds and waters, drifts of nourishing darkness, light, salt, hydrogen. And with this exchange, drift 3, tidal resonance in the sea floor, above the sea floor, now under the tide, watershed and upswell of marsh and beach edge, of tidal forests, mangrove swamps, expansions, to be moraines and sills, little necks, cherry stones of osprey, porcupine, and river otter, whelks, urchin, to be of mudflat fox, of periwinkle and the winter skate's purse, to work this good darkness into the shallows, this vital brackish water, resuscitation of every coastal stream. Drift 4. To be dwellers with this land, to be of source to sea. Poem. I just came across that the other day, and I thought that just the flow of the language was really encapsulating. So again, that was by Danielle Vogel. And the piece I'm reading today is a little bit, it's more like a narrative than a real poem, than my usual poems, I think. It's called Heron. I am grateful for my solitary hikes downhill where the San Diego River slowly evaporates as the seasons wax into summer. The trail is only a 5-minute drive from where I live. The river only 5 minutes from where the trail starts, and then some uncounted minutes thereafter. While walking carefully along bushy willow trees, I find the perfect seat by the water's edge. A divot of sprawling roots, dried algae, and the nook for my bag of snacks. It is a sanctuary to me, this place away from people. I dip my legs into the water here. A refreshing chill runs along, goosebumps from my toes to the seat of my spine. It's nice to surround myself in the quiet afternoon, open one of my many science fiction novels, and wait. I am waiting for someone special, someone like me who enjoys the water as much as I do. I know they will come, but the waterfall where we make our kindred acquaintance must be irrevocably silent. In fact, if my friend could paint, there would be a sign around the river stating, "No boisterous children, no splashing, no photographs or talking of any kind." And I am half tempted to write one for them that reads instead, "No admittance except delicious fish." When I first spotted the great blue heron, his long neck standing tall looking for carp, I came across him one day and reveled in awe as he stood, wings outstretched, standing tall as if balancing in a tree pose. He saw me at once when I crept in clear view of him, but he did not fly. I held my breath for what seemed like hours, slowly letting my body fall into a low crouch. I felt that if I breathed too loudly or shifted my feet without thinking, he would fly off. Or, much worse than that, he might lose his lunch, which he had waited and stalked for much longer than I had taken to bear witness. I sat on my haunches, hidden by thick green cattails and mule fat, watching him, staying out of sight. Though I knew he saw me squatting in the thicket, writing quick observations into my journal, trying my best to relate the lessons he taught through the patient movements. Eventually, though, I ran out of notes to take, and he, I suspect, grew bored of keeping watch on me. He had yet to eat and returned back to the meandering hunt of catching carp. It took him an hour at least to find one, but the river was beginning to slowly ebb out of the basin with each day that passed. Presently, when I come to the river to look for the heron, I am just as quiet. Before long, he comes gliding along the channel or down from his perch in the canopy. The river is more shallow now, though, that the summer solstice is near, but that does not defer him, nor I, from our tasks. He will fish for an hour or two, and I will watch and learn, though I no longer have notes to scribble into my journal. I am certainly not as graceful as he can be. No words can compare or watercolor portrait. I've painted his gray-blue feathers more than once to know how they camouflage perfectly against the granite boulders, marking the point of the river where the water cascades down to create the steady drumbeat of shallow falls. At this point, I've come to believe our friendship is mutual. We understand each other well enough that we can go about our business without disturbing the other. I can shift in my seat as I need to, read a book, eat an apple, even stretch my arms wide like he does without spooking his lunchtime ritual. In a way, we are alike. Both of us love our hermitude, yet are eager to have company so long as the silence of our riparian sanctuary remains unbroken. Though I cannot promise the same for occasional hikers who voice their awe and adoration for the heron as long as they can to myself or their partners. We are both easily startled at that, though I do not have the ability to tuck myself into my feathers and fly away. How quickly we both wish to escape from strangers, from sudden sounds or meandering footfalls, while I am left on the bank, feet trailing the water, heart pounding in my throat from unexpected visitors. He will drop his patient waiting, but not before he cocks his golden eye toward me, a bit of understanding, maybe some pity, or a glare as if I had control over others of my species. It's that same look monistics used to give me when I was too fidgety during meditation, a bit of love, a bit of discipline effort to get me to stay still. The heron then retreats back into the shadows of the willows where he can nurture his anxiety. I am left then to learn another lesson, not one of standing tall when sanctuary is offered, but one of resilience against the unexpected. I can either be patient until he returns to comfort me or seek shelter in the recess of my own loneliness and leave. But I would rather not leave, however. I am learning how to be still with the rocky moments. I am learning how to hold space with strangers without losing my lunch. I may never be as graceful as my friend, but at least I can learn to be patient with the unexpected while he cannot. Poem. Thank you.
Everybody unmute yourselves and please show some love for Cora, everybody. Yeah.
Love for Cora. Herring love. They mate for life. That's nice work.
Thank you. Sorry, it was a little longer.
It happens.
Wait, we're not time pressed on anything, so it was great to be able to hear your words and also that cover. So again, thank you for taking the time of your day to come our way.
It was so sublime and so like ethereal. I really, it felt like you were in nature, both the cover and your poem. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Some poems, when you read them, you could almost hear what's going on in their mind when they wrote it. It's
Right.
like,
The descriptors like I heard water trickling, like, you know?
yeah. And I love the way the river disappeared too. You said the river disappeared at a point?
So in
San Diego River ends,
yeah,
like
it
it
just
goes.
slowly ebbs as the summer goes on.
Okay. It literally comes to a dry point, the river. Wow.
Until the winter rains come back.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely be there. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Avasha. Thank you for coming by.
I'm honored. Blame it on Brian. I didn't know about you, but Brian told me about it. And I'm a poetry fanatic, so I'm in heaven.
Wait, who's Brian, you guys?
There's a big fam here. We're gonna be seeing you around. I got a feeling.
Generalissimo.
Okay, thank you. Wow, that's awesome. So nice to meet you.
Honored, the pleasure's mine.
Okay, up next is Zach.
All right,
Hi, Zach.
Hello, everyone. I got following the classic structure. I'll have a cover for you and then one of my own. I'm going to start off with a cover. It's from Body Today by Kathleen McKeever. It's a local poet. It's called Creation Myth. I might get a little distracted. I have a kitten in my lap. Just being rambunctious. Creation Myth. An artist smears menstrual blood, full of iron across the canvas. Stain of transubstantiation. Drink, blood of Christ. The man a woman could never become. The umbilicus cut, shared blood stops. Civil War soldiers wrote love letters with pokeberry ink instead of their own godly blood. Do not fail to catalog each detail. Generous records may save combatants, help them forge their new armor. Let's eat a bite of sumac, full of absorgate acid. Dyers distill the berries. Tannins create a pinkish ink the color of rinsed water. From monthly stained panties hand-washed, earthly love stains every even garments dyed dark and heavily woven, chain mail and lace. Dried and burned, the green leaves of Adam and Eve are dangerous to inhale. Poem. That was the cover by Kathleen.
Was that, it was written by a woman, okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then pull up mine. And this is, read this kind of in honor of Megas. This is, he said, one of the favorite pieces of mine he's ever heard. And so pull it out for him. It's called Hell and Beauty. I soared down to Niflheim upon the wings of Horus, chanting Ein Sof Hour. Through the mist, a whispering voice, palms up, let your wrists become exposed. This way the future's past may be exchanged for now. And upon the chariot of today, I ripped Ethernet cables from my spine and then hooked them up to you, so I may download 10% of your soul. Then my motherboard shook when the mist and darkness returned, but I will fear not, for I only see the beautiful side of hell, as above, so below. Poem. Thank you, guys. Glad to be here with you all.
Always a pleasure to have you here. Everybody, unmute yourselves. Please give it up for Zach.
That 10% of your soul thing was like, wow, that line.
All right. Up next, please give it up for CC. Whoa. Give it up for CC Ashagra, everybody.
All right. I just got to say big love to Gustav and this vision that he's given us of doing a cover and all that he does for everyone else. I love it when a poet spends a lot of their time giving other people voice. So I'm going to do a first. I'm going to cover a song on a piano. I've never done that before. I have covered one song back in the day. The place was a treehouse. It was a little town in Washington, across from Seattle. So this is an earworm that got stuck in my head, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And so one day I found these chords, and I think they're it. And then I went and I downloaded the lyrics. It was sung by Bette Midler. It was written by Amanda McBroom, which most people don't know. That a lot of songs people sing and that they know were not written by that. And yeah, you might recognize it. Here goes a first. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart, afraid of breaking, that never learns to dance. It's the dream, afraid of waking, that never takes the chance. It's the won't be taken, who cannot seem to give. It's the soul afraid of dying that never, never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong. Just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. That's for Gustav. And I wrote a love song. This is new. Better than the... Oh, no, I changed the title. The Miracle of We. Let's see if I can pull this off. Make me feel is so much better than the words I love you. The smile in your eyes can melt this heart of mine. You are wonder and dreams. You're the tender of air that lives to let love breathe. If I could only be this light, I hope you let love in. To suddenly we discover the miracle of we, where we understand the dance of life and the touch of every cell on fire. And the cellular moving winds of we are dancing on the ground of we believe in the way we share love feels so much better. Better than the words I love you. The way you make me feel is so much better. Better than the words I love you. And I just got to give a huge thank you to Catalyst and Thomas for giving me that feature that changed my life. When that ended, I opened the plane door and I jumped out without a parachute. And I have to go back to work, and I'm starting a company, and I'm missing a lot of open mics, but I have to do this, and it was a gift that I'm really grateful for. So I want to thank everybody who came to that and put up with how long it went on. And thank you for stepping in last minute and hosting that too. That was special.
Hey, thank you for bringing what you bring to the table every time. And with that said, please unmute yourselves, everybody, and give it up for CC Arshagra, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for being you. That was so gorgeous. That was so nice. Thank you so much. I was here just like gushing.
Love songs are not in my wheelhouse. I'm usually deep soul, heavy, intense, you know. But yeah, that one came out. But this other one was just an earworm, you know. I couldn't get it out of my head. You know, the rose over and over again. It's like, okay, I get it. Well, thank you.
I love that song. I adore that song.
It is. It's got words in it. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of songs that have, you know, what's it got a line in there? The one about and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. I would write that line.
It is. It's poetic. I love the lyrics.
It's a good one. Amanda McBroom. You'll never hear her name again, maybe. It says here, written songwriter Amanda McBroom. Anyway, that's it. Thank you, love.
I lost the list for a second, so hold on. Okay, I got seriously caught up over there. So up next is Park Quillian.
Hey, thank you, Alma, and everybody. Wonderful stuff. Sorry I was a little bit late. Had another Zoom go long tonight. But I thought for my cover, I'd do the poem I was tentatively thinking of doing last time when the room got crowded, before the room got crowded. So that was a poem about Dali meets Emerson, which is a double entendre for Keith Emerson, the keyboardist, and Ralph Waldo Emerson. And that reminded me of this poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson, a short one of his, that it's the only poem I've written a paper on. I had to hated writing papers in college, and I talked to my poetry teacher into saying I could write more poetry instead of one of the papers, but I had to write one paper, and it was on this poem. This is Brahma. If the red slayer thinks he slays, or if the slain think he is slain, they know not well the subtle ways I keep and pass and turn again. Far or forget to me is near. Shadow and sunlight are the same. The vanished gods to me appear, and one to me are shame and fear, shame and fame. They reckon ill who leave me out. When me they fly, I am the wings. I am the doubter and the doubt. I am the hymn the Brahmin sings. The strong gods pine for my abode, and pine in vain the sacred seven. But thou, meek lover of the good, find me and turn thy back on heaven. So this next poem is for someone who always encouraged my poetry and used to write poetry. I haven't been able to find much of it lately, but this is a poem in memory of my father who passed away 7 years ago, thinking about him on Father's Day. This is called Mementos of My Dad. Concealed in the back of my uppermost drawer, there sits a chip-carved wooden box with painted panels of onion domes I got in Moscow and gave to my dad. Each year or so since he has passed, I've pulled it out and opened it up. Inside are a set of mementos he saved, some tie-tacks and pins from places he'd been. His old Barlow knife he used to show me how to carve a puzzle he'd made. In the shop he put together in the garage, where once he made me a trick deck of cards. And also a change purse like ones he'd buy whenever his old one finally wore out, with folds arranged in a circular form that holds a coin I got in Japan. And a pen he asked me to buy him to recall our family legend of Cherokee blood at the last Scottish Games I took him to, like ones he took me to years before. And here's the box. Opened it up and looked at it again today. Thank you very much. And I'll put a link in the chat for my artwork in case anybody hasn't seen it yet.
Thank you very much. Everybody, please unmute yourselves and give it up for Parkillian, everybody.
So many beautiful statements in the piece.
All right, here we go. Moving on with the open mic. At this time, please give it up for Terry. At this time, please unmute and bless us with your words.
Sorry, having problems unmuting and people are talking to me, but hold on 1 second. Short piece from this book called Sinu, 10 Years of Poetry in the Brew. Wow. I didn't pick the right piece. Hang on, I'm sorry. Okay, this is a piece. Let me just check it. Okay, this is a piece called Sheltered Joy by Henry L. Jones. There is a joy hidden from eyes, whether strangers, family, or friends, who look and wonder what you're hiding. Sometimes tears leak your joy, cascading from the eye's edges, passing the salty nuggets of sleep, unremoved from the morning, damming some shuttled water, where fragments of your dreams still cluster on the eyelashes, awaiting replayed memories. You face remains dry and stiff. I think that's supposed to be your. You look for a cup of brew to drink and welcome the day, longing to remember the joy left in the draping pitch of night. Vague images engulfed tightly in a lover's arms, making love. The dew still lingering on your thighs. now dry and brittle, a forensic proof someone touched and released you from the dullness and loneliness for a moment, even if that joy erupted from fantasy and thirst. People noticed the craving in your eyes as you watched and smelled nearby as warm, fleshy mouth passed and smiled, wondering if the grin was an open invitation to share a few moments of passion, taking and giving all, trying to replace the days of emptiness, filling and feeling the cold with warmth until boiling simmers to a thick stew, condensing the broth left cooking as you dared yourself to touch it and allow a small leaking or taste of yourself, freeing the hunger, perhaps believing one spoonful would drive you insane to keep eating, realizing that hunger still remains, no matter how much you stirred and seasoned the pot with salt, gathering from the sweat, the trickling, dripping along the tenderness, falling off the bone onto the bed where you lay trembling alone, reaching to the marrow of rivers, still cold inside, but some warmth, fever so much, life, the flu, where your mind crazes like Alice, wondering if some tea will help, allow you to fall asleep soon. But no, your covers are stale, with dried stains of lovers. So you clutch the nearest thing, a pillow or the mattress to cuddle, floating in the lake you poured yourself on the sheets of passion, now wet and funky from yourself, a drizzling spring rain falling. You felt ashamed and filthy again, but needed that storm to come. So you hid the desire and look, hoping no one noticed your face of sheltered joy, a frail self locked in the cage of your trapped desires. That was heavy. Okay.
Let's put a whole new
Did you hear?
definition to happy ending.
Oh,
Forgetting that.
oh my God, I have a funny story. So yesterday I was in New York City, actually was in Manhattan at a bookstore with Whisper Poet and Jane Spoken Word. And then not Jane, but Whisper and I went over to another open mic in Brooklyn. And we read our pieces over there. But while we were in the bookstore, we were having a conversation about a curious ceramic store that opened up near me where you can make your erotica, sex toys. So we were having a very interesting conversation about that. But there's a place over here that does specialize in that. And I can't wait to get in there, man. I got to get in there for that workshop. I'm like, and you can't even, like, they're only doing it like once every 3 months or something. And it's like hard to get in there, but no pun intended.
It's
But
hard to
yeah.
get in there. You had to say it.
Pun intended then, pun intended.
Okay.
All
Don't
right, so
don't overdo it.
I'm going to read another one about the Rolling Stones that I wrote. I don't know if I want to read that one because I went to the Rolling Stones concerts. Or I have another one about therapy. Or I read the heck out of that one already. Hang on, let me go back to this one. Oh, here's one I just wrote today. I woke up this morning and I wrote this piece. Sorry if anybody's here that already heard it. Oops, I didn't want to read it from there because hang on, it's in two places.
How could we have heard it if you wrote this morning in bed?
Because I already read it in another mic.
Oh, okay. Either that or we're all psychic and we heard it.
Now, some of the people heard it because they were in the other mic. Okay, hang on here. Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm having difficulty finding it. Here it is. Sorry. So I woke up this morning. Oh, by the way, it's called Stealing the Moon, among other things. So I woke up this morning from a dream about Paris with tourist me attempting to get the perfect picture of the Eiffel Tower, only to realize that I wasn't really there. I knew something didn't look quite right about my mind's eye tower. For one thing, it was only halfway lit up, and the rest was in the dark. How can this be right for the City of Lights? Also, something about the surrounding scene was cartoon-like. When I was really there in 2018 on my honeymoon, we were cruising down the River Seine when I noticed the only light visible was that of the stars' moonless sky. It seemed that someone shut the switch off the rest of the city. We were deprived of that experience. The mum speakers meant to narrate kept secrets, not caring to say what infamous historical site we were passing next. One looming dark building creeping by after another cast shadows on our innocent marriage. This cruise was recommended by my mother and the travel agent, who had no clue how they paved our marriage with good intentions, or how disappointing and eerily silent a union like this could be. The silence of the disapproving and deserted riverbank, except for the lonely hum of the riverboat engine moving slowly through the black water of our unimagined life together. We were expecting more. I was expecting so much more. I was in pain, not only from the dent this trip put in my bank account, but from the heartbreak. At that moment, it was decided this was to be my first and last time in Paris. Life is full of disappointments, and we better get used to it now, my mother's words echoing in my head. It was hard for me not to compare Paris to New York. Initially being bright-eyed and hopeful for my future there as an artist, spending a year in college learning the subway like the back of my hand, always the stench in the underground atmosphere smelling of piss, trains traveling through mazes forcing steam to rise from the bowels of the city through the grates and the dirty sidewalks, herds of people plowing over them, hoping not to catch a heel or fall through what was romanticized by Hollywood movies. Familiar feeling of fear mixed with anxiety attack had to push back down my throat, knowing it was too late to turn back now, and reminding myself this is what I signed up for. Reluctantly leaving my safe place in New Jersey and returning years later, still scared to walk alone, taking out flashlight/stun gun from my theft-proof purse to illuminate dark places on purpose, exposing despicable to me evil intentions, sending message I am not to be messed with, returning my mind to cartoon movie heroine of her story, wielding lipstick stun gun. She constantly used, oh my God, I'm messing this up. Shit, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. Returning my mind to cartoon movie heroine of her story, wielding lipstick stun gun she confidently used to capture a man, her man, whom she so admired for his crime of attempting to steal the moon. Before that night, I only dreamed this was possible. So that's that piece. Sorry, messed it up a little bit, but anyway.
Everybody unmute yourselves and please give it up for Terry, everybody.
Terry, was that Betty Boop or Jessica?
No, it was from the Despicable Me movie.
Oh, geez.
Where I mentioned Despicable Me in the poem, so it's kind of a newer movie. And the guy who plays the guy in the office who runs the office, that comedian, that show The Office. What's that comedian's name?
The name slips my mind.
Steve Carell.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Well, Steve Carell does the voice for the villain in Despicable Me, and you got to see, if you never saw Despicable Me, man, you got to see them. It's very well done.
It started with that first movie
Yeah, and the
I got
little
a
yellow
bug.
guys.
Yeah, the little yellow, the very first one.
Yeah.
This is gonna kill everyone. I got to share this story, so kill me. The very first movie of those little yellow pill people was made by a film company that Disney published called Illumination Films. Okay, I'm not kidding about that. And the first 15 minutes of that film, that movie about a brand new cartoon icon now, it's an industry. They were a species of little people that used to serve dinosaurs, and if they helped the dinosaurs eat and kill, then they were left alive, and then the dinosaurs died. And so these little species of people had nothing left to do with their lives, so they were free. And they traveled up to maybe, I don't know, New Hampshire or something like that, and they couldn't have fun. They couldn't play. They didn't know how to be free. And they decided, this is the first 15 minutes of the cartoon. You really got to get your mind around this. They decided as a species that they were never going to be able to exist unless they had an evil to serve. So they got one guy that says, I'm going to go out into the world and find us an evil to serve. And then one says yes, and then the little one jumps up and down and they have to take him. And then they go to London, and it's either the queen or the guy who's an arms dealer. And that's the evil guy. And and then every parent went and bought the little I need to serve evil pillow and gave it to their child and tucked them into bed. And now all the kids love these little yellow pill people that only exist to serve evil. And that's the story it's in the movie. I'm fucking killing
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Stop hating on short people.
Oh no, he even has one. Oh God, oh my God, excuse me, I gotta go die.
Don't be hating on the shorties.
Let me just say that you have to see the movie because it's not a movie. It's a movie about a guy who's evil, but these little guys help him become good.
Just watch the first 15 minutes of the first one and then realize.
Oh, you just muted for a moment.
All I know is that when he said you're only alive you can only live with a
unless you have an evil to serve.
Unless you have an evil to serve, I was like, vibes.
Oh my God, Alma.
Vibing hard.
Oh Jesus.
I love you. Everybody, give it up one more time for Terry for that piece, and watch out for those
I didn't mean
pill
to go
people.
off on it. And then MT takes out the little pill pool.
All I know is that in my head immediately was that gif of Jim Carrey that Satan, is that you? And I was
Jim
like,
Carrey,
okay,
that's another story. Yeah. Jim Carrey. Yeah, he woke up.
Oh wait, I was gonna say something to Terry real quick. I was just talking earlier today on Quilling Prose. We had a feature with a Gothic poet about how powerful sensuality is, particularly in dark poetry, and how powerful it is to women's empowerment. And I loved everything about your poems, and it was giving dark poetry. I kind of have a headache now, so I might not be making that much sense, but I need to eat probably. I need some crab rangoon. But I loved everything about
put
your
it
poems.
away.
I wanted to say that.
Thank you.
All right, moving on with the open mic here. This has been a great show, everybody. Thank you all for taking the time of your
I'm
lives
deteriorating as the night.
Don't worry, we'll piece you together. Don't worry, we have an order of crab rangoon scheduled for you later. But right now, at this time, please give it up for MT Paridi, everybody. Unmute and take it away.
What's up, y'all? I'm MT Paridi. I'm up here on Long Island. in New York, and I'm going to, in the spirit of the Magus, of Gustav, I'm going to read a cover to start. And it's actually from this cute little zine. I don't know if you can see that. No. It's called The Scene. Okay. I actually produce it.
You need to unblur your background
How do
in
I
order
do
for us to
that?
see it.
Okay. Blur back. Whoops. Cancel. Gotcha. I'm gonna unblur the background. There we go. So this is a cute little zine that I make every month. It's got 10 pages of poetry in it and an interview with an open mic host. But I'm gonna read from it. It's also Pride Month, so happy Pride. And I'm going to read from it something that I published by this woman, Maggie Bloomfield. She's this sweet old woman here on the local open mic scene. She actually runs an open mic in Riverhead. She's best known for her Emmy-winning lyrics on Sesame Street. But yeah, she submitted to my little magazine, and I published her, and this is her poem for Pride Month. It's about her. Well, I'll let her tell you. It's called Translation, to cross over and interpret. There is this slightly altered transmutation that transfixed our focus for a time and transmogrified into a reality that transferred to us like a transistor pulsed electrical signal, so that a couple of mature adults transitioning into geriatricdom came to learn that the life of their presumed son had always been transitory, and that through a medical and psychological process called transitioning began to transform into Emily, our trans daughter and a transsexual whose sadness and translucent skin finally made sense and definitively translated. She traversed biology and biography of transatlantic proportions to transpose misery into joyful transcendence, which ultimately transported us there as well. Poem.
Nice cover.
Yes, thank you.
What was the Sesame Street song? Is it one we all know?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask her next time I see her.
My favorite is Pirates and Emperors are really the same thing. Google it.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that. The next one I'm gonna do is an original of mine. It's new shit. It's new shit. And I wrote it on Friday, and all in one sitting. So let's see how it goes. It's called Too Hot. I take my sips way too hot. I gotta feel the burn. Giving it all I got, taking every turn. Never learn and never stop, so shocked, hair in a perm. Bottle rocked, a twisted plot. I spot a lot of yearn. A lot of want, a lot of need. You gotta taunt before you feed, cause if the haunt is in the lead, you gotta flaunt and live your creed. Live your truth, live your belief. Give your proof, get your release. Get your freedom and use it, no matter who's got to approve it. No matter the cost, it's worth all the loss. Don't dare to threaten to lose it. Don't dare to give it away, because everyone else, yes, would choose it. Here don't mean it's to stay. It'll run if you start to abuse it. No, freedom ain't free, and it needs exercise. Needs me to be me. Take off the disguise. Take off the king's clothes or put some more on, because you know in that fable, the king's clothes, they were gone. So influenced by yes men without any criticism is the same as a life spent in the prison system. Recidivism on the rise, and they say the country's Christian. Wouldn't miss him, says the guys that are running all the business. And you know that corpse are people, right? Like really, they have people's rights. Ridiculous that people fight each other over race. What do you expect? Do you have sight? Haven't you seen in darkest night the things we do, the type of fright we cause the world to face? Don't yuck my yum. and I won't yuck yours. No, really, I promise I won't yuck yours. I'm being honest, not keeping scores, and I'm not the fondest of how we treat the poor. How we slam the door, how we keep the gate. But the goddamn floors, the glass ceilings fate, 'cause we're breaking through and standing on business. We come with a crew and a special witness. What's this I see? Asks my little princess. I say, be free, it's the best and fits us. Like a glove can't be that a Paridi gives up. The family tree becomes a comfort and is what I lean on when feeling the weight of the world. Maybe you can relate. Or maybe you can't. It's new, give a chance to your fam. Oh, no matter their state. No matter their lean or way too in between, like can't make a choice, but no choice feels so mean. Because we're talking about people with lives and with loves, with memories of the times they've been shoved for being different, for wanting a hug. Why must we split? Why can't we rise above? Why can't I just be happy? Why can't it hit the spot? Probably because I like to sip it too hot. Poem.
Everybody, please, at this time, unmute. Give it up for MT.
MT. I like that. It reminded me of Gustav's style a little bit.
And if there's no more bits of feedback for our brother, one more time,
It
please
was so
give it up.
gorgeous. I loved it. I was writing in the chat.
Yes, I'm enjoying the chat right now. Thank you all.
It's lit. It's hot.
Hotter than a skillet, and we're proud to have you in it. Thank you, MT, for that. All right. So, moving on with the open mic here. Where did my list go? It is at this time that we please give it up for Avacha, everybody. At this time, unmute when you're ready. Please take it away.
Avasha, welcome.
Gosh,
Welcome to Chaos
I've never
Magic.
heard or seen you before. I'm so looking forward to this. Are you new here?
I never heard of this. Brian he told me about you guys and said I needed to be here, and I was going to do his favorites, but he's not here. But anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. Wow, do you guys meet every Monday or once a month? Or how often do you meet?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You could find a poetry like this online all week long.
Wait. This group meets every day.
No. There's
Hold up. Let me explain real quick. So every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Chaos and Magic. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have another show called Hardy Artists, where they interview a female poet and just kind of delve into their art. Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Open Minds, Open Mic, where it's kind of like a similar premise. Anything goes with a feature every so often. And every Saturday, our community also has the Slam Jam at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But all that could be followed online through Instagram. If you check out Open Minds, Open Mic. And yeah, we're just so ecstatic to have new people coming in weekly and to have you here. With that said, when you're ready, Avacha, please bless us with your words.
I don't have Instagram. I'm kind of 2 years older than dirt, but I've been around a minute or two. And I'm from New York, so I see a lot of people talking about New York. I was born there, I was raised there, and I was grateful to live there. I live now in Wichinchoncheo territory, which is where Oakland, West Oakland, and Emeryville come together in Northern California. And so anyway, here I am. Okay.
Welcome. Thank you.
This poem here, thank you. I'm going to do, as I say, well, Brian is one of his favorite ones. I'm a coffee fanatic, and for those of you who know about the damage that Hurricane Maria did to Puerto Rico, it's They cleaned up the places where the tourists went, but the rest of the island, especially up in the mountains, way up in the mountains, they're hurting big time. And different people are getting stuff to the islands. My particular crew, we're getting stuff way up there, Utuado, Mocha, places like that, Ciales. And I didn't realize that one of our contacts has been sending stuff to the coffee growers who got hit really hard. I didn't realize how that they had really gotten hard. So about a month or so, I went to the post office box. I got this big thing, this big box. I opened it up, and all these bags of Puerto Rican coffee came out, falling out, and said that, you know, they were grateful for me sending all the coffee, the stuff to the coffee growers, and that I never needed to buy another bag of coffee again as long as I lived, as long as I promised never to drink Cafe Bustelo again as long as I live, because it is not Puerto Rican coffee. And I've been drinking it for 40 years. But anyway, so I wrote this poem for them. It's called, because the first words out of my mouth, it's raining cafe, except in this poem, I spell it R-E-I-G-N. It's raining cafe like royalty, and it's in Spanglish, so hopefully you get the message. And forgive my phone, it's across the room, I can't turn it off. So, it's raining cafe, or Confesiones de una cafeólica sin vergüenza, which translates into confessions of a coffeeholic without a shameless coffeeholic. Yes. Okay. Way up in the mountains of Borinquen. Oh, Borinquen was the name of the island before colonialism. Back up again. Way up in the mountains of Borinquen, it's raining cafe. Indescribably precious gifts in little tiny coffee beans, proud and homegrown and more numerous than raindrops. Café real con un aroma sin igual, and just the scent of Café Teto transports me to El Pueblo de las Marias. This coffee is sacred, precious, delicious, a real mountain treasure. Es un licor natural y orgánico y 100% del pueblo borincano, and with every cup of Café El Mañanero and Café Lealtad, I am reborn. En las montañas de la Isla del Encanto, it's raining café. But even here, 3,595 miles away from it, the Fruta Sagrado del Campo, I daily drink in the power of those mountains, and I am energized. Every single day when I taste the essence of Café Cibales, I can feel the naturaleza of Ciales come alive inside my insides. And Café Oro de Puerto Rico, ay, qué rico. Café increíble con su aroma sabroso, a sacred encanto that tastes of majesty. Y con cada trago de nuestro café subo para el cielo. In the mountains of La Isla del Encanto, it's raining café, royal coffee beans, un tesoro nacional with hypnotic aromas that smell of the wildness of freedom, untamable freedom, libre like the dirt of the mountains that gave them birth. Oh, yes, 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 I confess I'm hooked. I get drunk with every cup of café de aquí Utuado, majestuoso tesoro sagrado de las montañas, and in my house, tomo el sabor 100% de las montañas, and I shamelessly admit it. There's not 1 ounce of doubt in my mind. I am a proud 100% unapologetic coffeeholic, and in my house, I say in my house, it's raining café 100% from the mountains of La Isla del Encanto. Okay, so that's that one. And I do one other here. And that, by the way, is I got a book and a bunch of stuff I'll put in the chat in a minute. This is called The We of Us. When I write, I dress yesterday's visions in today's rhythms, and I tap dance all over the page with every poem. And with every single word I write, I am reliving everything these cultureless cultures have tried their best to bury and replace with the sadness of their emptiness. And I continue to sing, keeping the ancestors alive by singing their songs, expanding traditions with new words and strange lands. I am the recognition of all the traditions the soulless have tried to erase, but with a giant thank you in our hearts, we joyfully climb up out of the acceptable respectability of their passionless graveyards and are reborn in every poem we write. We sing to you through the rhythmic fire of samba. Every rumba reinstates your presence in our DNA. We cry the unashamed truth through the bluest of blues, exploding like La Bomba in the face of colonial insanity, and boldly fight the power with doo-wop, hip-hop, and jazz. I refuse to silently accept the unacceptable suicidal demise of our existence when every single day I can taste the we of us striving. I say we're striving, we're more than just surviving. We are cultural alchemists, an undeniable force of creativity and motion. And through our creativity, we decolonize our legacy and free our minds and spirits. We are a whole lot more than you and me. It's all about the you in me, the me in you, the we of us, writing our way out of the delusion of manifest destiny, self-righteous madness, and reinvigorating the dreams our ancestors died for. Thanks for listening to my words. I'm going to put my book as well as our poetry series. We have a multilingual poetry series, La Palabra Musical, and usually it's on the fourth Saturday of the month. But I also have my website because I'm also a musician, and I think I have a gig on that date this month. But if you look at my website, you get all the information. So I put my book and a couple of CDs. Our poetry series is multilingual, and so whatever language you cry in or dream in, bring it. And it's about time to cut the crap and listen to each other. Thanks for listening to my words.
That was so amazing. Thank you so much. Actually, Dre here is Puerto Rican and I'm in Puerto Rico right now, and I was just mind blown. I know a lot of the situation that you're talking about, and I was just, mind blown over here. I love multilingual poetry. Thank you so much for bringing that to the space tonight.
Oh, you are so loved. You are so welcome. There's such a community. You are going to be embraced big time by hundreds of people here. The online poetry community is going to love you worldwide.
Well, I'm grateful.
What a reader too. You could read. You read your work well. I could feel your soul every syllable.
I'm just an old musician, but what part of the island are you in? Because my family is from both Ponce and Luis Aldea, but I also have a lot of friends and family up in Utuado, and so
I love Utuado and Ponce and all that, but I'm in the metro area.
All right.
I love the mountains here. They're gorgeous.
What's your music?
Jazz, Latin jazz, blues, but anything that sounds good. If it sounds good and I can sit in with it, that's what I do. Go to my website. It has information on my music.
What do your keys? You compose? You play? What instrument?
But I don't play. I rebelled against the piano when I was a kid. Poppy and my mother and father were dancers, and my mother assumed I would be a dancer, but me and the tutu did not get along. I was a music nut. Unfortunately, Poppy really supported me, and so my mother eventually surrendered and got me a guitar, and so. But I play guitar, flute, clarinet, bass clarinet, and a whole bunch of small Afro-Latin percussion instruments. I'm a music nut. I'm a fanatic, an old music fanatic.
Wow, bass clarinet. That's a hard instrument. That's beautiful.
It's clarinet, not bass. I've never played the bass.
Oh, okay. I thought you said bass clarinet.
Yeah, but I'm a music nut, and now and older than dirt, I'm studying keyboard harmony because I rebelled against the piano. They forced me to study with this creature I was supposed to call Aunt Lucy, who taught the piano with a ruler, and that didn't go over too good. So now
I love it. I love your story. I love your story.
I love it.
You got to get her to get interviewed. That's an interview for the Mondays. I mean the Tuesday. My God.
Tuesday, I do 2 radio programs, one of which is on Tuesday. So Tuesday night is out for me.
Yeah. And anyway, they record them and then you could do them after, I think. Right? I don't know how it works. But anyway, you got a fam waiting for you. That's for sure.
Well, I'm grateful. Come on to ours. I'll put it in the chat and please join us.
Yeah, I put my thing. I got the human room open voice thing, which you could. It's different. You could actually come there and speak freely too. I'll put that there. You could actually just do a free speech in addition to poetry. It's a concept. It's a concept here. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And with that said, I want to give Avacha here a huge open minds, open arms welcome. Welcome to the fam. You are no stranger here anymore. Come here every week and just check out our shows when you can. And we will check out what you got going on in the group chat, because this is like we like to do, like to create a nice community here. Great networking opportunity. Thank you again for blessing us with your words. Coming up next, we're almost done with this show, so we got 2 poets left. Coming up next, please give it up for Christy Scribbles. When you're ready, unmute and take it away.
Hello, yes, I'm so happy I could jump in. What a special room tonight. Yeah, I wasn't gonna spit, but I'll spit something little, but yeah, just so inspired by everyone's work. Here we go. The nerves are unending. The nerves are unending. My nerves, my nerves, my nerves twitch, they twist, they tingle and twitch as they switch. Switch to on, to on. She's on, the nerve ending her, where everything is energy coursing through my veins. Never ending, time bending, nervous system ticking lights the way to the explosion, to the old cartoon like line of black powder that awaits the mighty switch of the itch of the nerve, of the boom, of the imploding, of the exploding, happening all at once, of the twitch, the itch, the nerve, the not regulated, not regulated. The system is not regulated. The whole thing overheating from the open end nerve that is her, that is I, sitting, twitching, and twisting the ropes that connect my system as neurotransmits my sensory overload, overloaded with stimuli, outside stimuli triggers the impulse of the pounding, pulses that pulse through my systems of nerves, of nerve endings, ending the atmosphere, shifting the water levels, and slowing things down, or speeding things up, things down, up and down, the merry-go-round, go around, goes around, and I'm back here again, at the start, at the beginning, at the middle, at the end. Never ending, never any ending. Nerve endings, nerve endings, nerve endings. Thank you.
Please unmute yourselves and give it up for Christy, everybody. Yeah.
What a great closer.
Not a closer because
Oh,
we
that's
still
right.
have
We
Dre
got
coming up to the
Dre.
mic.
Dre.
Everybody forgets about Dre. In fact,
No, they don't.
You forgot
my new
about
chat
Dre.
book
You
is
Uh-oh.
my new chat book is called "Forget About Dre."
Oh, what a segue.
So yeah, this is a hilarious segue. Yeah, this is my notes collection. Forget About Dre. It's about how pretty much, well, it's about a lot of things, but it's a fun read, I think. 32 pages of poetry of various topics, and it's only $10. You could contact me through Instagram or through email, or just message me on the group chat for that. But enough of that self-promo thing. I didn't expect to do a self-promo. I was gonna just read from this. But
I love the self promo, so let me just say that.
well, thank you. Well, I had an idea. I had a game plan of how I wanted to do my poetry here. But seeing how Alma's hungry and someone called out Crab Rangoon, well,
I'm starving.
well, here I am to fill your stomach. Here's the first poem. It's called Proper Hunger. Inspired by Alma, actually. Oh, Mumsy, beacon of light, render my hunger out of sight. I think you gave me the wrong Wonka chocolate bar, but the definition of wrong can be subjective. I feel fine, just abysmal hunger swallowing me whole, mother. Oh, Mom, my tum-tum needs a little yum-yum, so give me some of that fun for my tum-tum. I want to be gobbling some cheddar goblin mac and cheese, please. Give me soup, give me fries, give me burgers from Five Guys. Oh, yeah! Ravioli, ravioli, feed me all the cannolis. Me want honeycomb, me want cookie crisp, me wants chilies, baby back ribs. Oh, mother, I wish for Crab Rangoon. Mother. The Rangoon, mother. Do I need to embarrass you in public again, mother? Do I have to gaslight you into thinking you aren't a good mother so I can get my proper helping of Rangoon, mother? Why must we exercise such extreme measures onto you, mother? I am only just a young lad who was looking at pasta salad the way Dan Schneider looks at his child stars, or the way thieves look at expensive cars. I'm hungry, and I cannot control myself anymore, mother. I will flip this peaceful afternoon into hell on earth if you don't get me food. Specifically, the Rangoon, mother. And if I have to repeat myself once more, mother, so help me God, in the name of Rangoon, there'll be nobody to blame but yourself when the inevitable occurs. If we don't feed this belly, the Rangoon, mother. Feed me, the Rangoon. Poem. So you must be wondering what the fuck am I gonna do to top that? Well, here's the following poem in my chapbook. Odes to Crab Rangoon. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you fill me up with fulfillment when you're filling face plants onto feel of my taste buds. Every time I have you inside my oral cavern, I cannot help but once to crush you with my stalagmite teeth and swallow you into my abyss while I enjoy feeling you disintegrate slowly under my pressure as you slide all the way down to the pit of my being. Oh yeah, Crab Rangoon, you perfectly highly yet excuse me, you perfectly highly addictive yet perfectly legal drug. And yes, I said drug. Have you ever eaten one and not feel dopamine and serotonin flood every mini vessel in your being with the utmost sense of culinary nirvana? Oh, Crab Rangoon, you are the Asian equivalents to Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. In life, there should be only two universal defining periods: life before and after accepting Crab Rangoon as your Lord, Savior, and demigod. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you miracle of life, you. If you were made in your original pure form, the pharmaceutical industry would cease to exist because you cure all. I'll never forget the time I had that one stomach ache, and you, with your crunchy exterior and your cheesy, creamy, crabby holiness, oh, Crab Rangoon, you are the body of Christ. Your healing powers influenced me to start an underground street fighting club called Crab Rangoon Club. And the first rule of Crab Rangoon Club is that we definitely talk about Crab Rangoon Club. Oh, Crab Rangoon, the joy and despair of all, how they rewrote the history books. You, Crab Rangoon, every 80s power ballad and 70s adult film was inspired by you in some way by a rich, sexual white chocolate. Oh, Crab Rangoon, I am a goon for you, always have, and always will. Poem. Thank you. Oh, yeah. So, how hungry are you now?
I'm fucking famished.
Ay, pobrecito, I'm gonna go on a fast.
He read that Crab Rangoon one at the Poets Passage in El Viejo San Juan. When he was there. That's how I met Dre. And it was I was mesmerized. I was like, excuse me, what did you say about Rangoon? And then somebody just said in the chat that they don't like Crab Rangoon, the travesty. Okay?
Oh wow.
No, senor. You're gonna eat the Rangoon whether you like it or not. Okay, I'm done.
Like, I understand lactose intolerance, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna be, imposing Rangoon on everybody.
I'm
No.
imposing the Rangoon.
Well, in that case, Alma's imposing. And I just want to say real quick, thank you for having me. Thank you for having the space. Thank you for spending parts of your day, your life with us here on Chaos Magick on this lovely Monday. Until next time, please keep writing and please keep loving. We'll see you next
Can you
time.
give us a little update of what you know what's happening with
Oh, the I messaged Gustav not too long ago. I want to say actually it was a little at the beginning of the show, excuse me. I haven't received any word from him. He did see the message, but once I get information, I will be alerting people who are expressing concern just so I can, update people properly. I wish I had an update right now, but
We did put Nemo put in the chat the GoFundMe
Right.
concerning his diagnosis and the
did he have
situation there.
did he have a second heart attack and
No, he had a second.
He had a second stroke.
he had a second stroke?
Yeah,
Is he still in the hospital right now?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's had a second stroke. I mean, he's in the
Yeah,
hospital.
more than likely, yeah.
most likely,
I put the site up on my Facebook page, but I think that probably the information on the updates will be in the
In the GoFundMe probably will be the best way to get the updates, I think.
Right. Well, keep us posted. Thank you.
we will. And thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Thank you, everybody who was out there expressing concern for our brother, the Megas, Gustav Salas, as he makes his recovery from what has been a rough patch with his health. If you're listening, if you get a chance to listen to this, Gustav, we are rooting for you like, I don't know, like diehard Yankees fans in the 1950s. Like, there is a passion here amongst us here in the Open Minds community. Love and support throughout every member here. And when one of us is in a rough spot, we try to do our best to support, whether it be financially or spiritually. Please take a moment every day to wish Gustav the best, whether it be through prayer, meditation, sending him a DM, what have you. Because he needs us more than ever, I would say. And with that said, please keep sending good vibes and energy his way. Get the word across, because you never know who's able to help if you're not able to. So, in closing, we love you.
We love you, Gustav. We love you guys. We love all of you.
And again, until next time, please keep writing and please keep loving.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Peace, love.
I wish everybody has an overdose of Cafe Borinqueño. It's good for your health. It'll keep you strong and healthy. And
Every single day. Every single day.
every minute of every day it'll
Todo
work.
día.
Okay. Peace.
Peace and love.
Bye. Mwah.